It's Saturday, which means it's another day of Yu-Gi-Oh! At Locals at Paladin's Game Castle, and we went to our event already, and it was an actually small turnout because a lot of players were either participating in the YCS Pasadena remote duel event, or they might have gone to Pasadena because they already booked some hotels and, you know, make a day out of it, or they just decided not to go. I'm not entirely sure. So we only had 7 players at the start of the tournament, so we were only able to play 3 rounds, but we did get an 8th player, but that did not change the round count, so we only had 3 rounds to go through. So that's why this video is going to actually be very short today, probably short. And yeah, that's just the just to let you guys know what happened and why there's such a little bit of a turnout today. But hey, as long as we get to play some Yu-Gi-Oh, I'm completely fine with that, especially after what we did last week, going first place with Heroes. I was so hyped to want to play Heroes even more right now, so I was just like, you know, just give me another day of Yu-Gi-Oh! I don't care, I just want to play. So we did, and I was originally thinking of changing the deck up a little bit by taking out the effect veilers to add in Forbidden Chalice, but I decided not to touch the deck at all this week. I might change it for next week, mostly because some things did happen that I kind of want to address a little bit later in the video. I'm not entirely sure just yet, but yeah, I might do some changes next week, and next week's tournament is a bit of a 50-50. It's either going to be a regular tournament, or originally it was supposed to be a YCS Las Vegas qualifier match, but now that thing got canceled, so we don't know if it's actually going to still happen because they are probably going to still have the YCS remote duels. So we don't know what the deal is with that. We don't know if we're going to be having that YCS Saturday, because if so, I think it was going to be 5 rounds of Yu-Gi-Oh! So that would be cool. Another round's actually pretty nice. But if it's not, it's just going to be a regular tournament. If more players do show up, it's only going to be 4 rounds. But we'll just have to wait and see how it's going. But since it is like another like YCS qualifier thing, if it happens, I could see a lot of people going. You know, I already pre-registered, and that was before it got canceled. So regardless, we're already set to go for next week. And yeah, we'll just have to wait and see what the word is with that. So enough of that. Let's get into the gameplays that happened here. And sorry if I did not record a lot of B-roll footage. I normally do, but not for this one. It was a little bit short today. So let's just get to the gameplays of round 1. Game 1, my opponent goes first and sets a monster and 2 cards face down. I proceed to draw and activate Reinforcement of the Army to add my Elemental Stratos from my deck to my hand. I summon out Stratos and attempt to use its effect, however my opponent activates Infinite Impermanence, negating the effect, and all I could do was just attack because that's all my hand had, so I just set 1 card face down during main phase 2 and proceeded to pass. So he summons out the Incredible Ecclesia, the monster from his hand. He activates the effect, but I had the Ash Blossom to negate it, so then he proceeded to pass. Then I had Stratos, I drew Stratos, summoned it, he had another Infinite Impermanence, so all I could do was just attack directly and proceeded to pass. He drew a card, he summons out the Aluber, but I had the effect veiler to negate its searching ability, and from there, he proceeded to pass. I drew my Ferris, and I was able to combo off, going into my usual Ferris plays, and just setting up with the increase from the main deck, summoning out increase, summoning out Vion, using Vion to ditch, I believe, Mali. I either sent Mali or I sent Shadow Mist to search out a hero. I think I just sent Mali. And then I proceeded to search out the Polymerization. And from there, I was just going to go combo off here. My opponent has no cards face down, and I was just going to, like, you know, go for it and just try to OTK here. And my opponent will notice that I will be having OTK plays, so he's letting me play here for a little bit. But when it comes to a certain point that he realizes that, do I have OTK? I tell him, yes, I do have OTK if you have nothing in your hand. And from here, I do go in the Cross Crusader, and this is where he decides to scoop it up, and we go into game 2. It's game 2, and my opponent makes me go first, so all I can really do here is that I had some plays, but I didn't want to overextend too much, so I did the Ferris play, and like I said, I didn't want to extend too much because he does have the Fallen of Albaz in his deck, and he could summon it out either normaling it or special summoning with Ecclesia, so I didn't want to set up a board he can instantly fusion off with it, so I was just trying to play out very cautiously here, you know. So I was just doing some searching, special summonings, Cross Crusader, getting a search, normal summon out my Stratos, got a search of a Dusted Gold, and I sent out a Dusted Gold from my hands to the graveyard just to get the Dark Calling for next turn because I'm gonna wait. And from here, that's really all I do, and I don't set up any like really fusions, but until I realize that, yeah, I did. So when it becomes my opponent's turn, he is going to summon out the Incredible Ecclesia, and he's going to use the effect to special summon Fallen of Albaz from his hand. And because he was able to special summon out Fallen of Albaz, he discards a card to fuse it and the Cross Crusader, which is 2 dark monsters, to go into Starving Venom Fusion Dragon. And this is honestly, this is going to be where you're going to see the Despia shine. He's going to summon out a Luber to search out the branded field spell, the Despia field spell. And this deck just pops off, man. I'm a fan of this deck, and I just cannot wait for the All Boss Strike Structure deck to come out in April. That thing is going to be amazing. This archetype is going to be even better. He activated the branded opening to discard a card to special summon a Despia from his deck. And I can't remember which one it is. It's the level 8 one, but it can recycle itself when it gets fusioned, I believe. And he does activate the field spell. He uses the field spell to fusion summon into the other level 8 Despia monster. I can't remember, the one that quick effect that makes all my monsters 0. And he does use that, so my Stratos does go to 0. And from here, you're going to see he is going to, spoiler, OTK me right here. And this was just an awesome deck. So he just attacks and got game 2, and then we go into game 3. And this was just really cool. Game 3, my opponent starts with the Incredible Ecclesia and sets 2 cards face down. Now, with Incredible Ecclesia being on the field, I had to be very cautious because he can use its effect to special summon out Fallen Little Boss and just fuse with any of my dark monsters to go into Starving Venom Fusion Dragon. So from here, I just have to just bank it. So I summon out the Ferris. He activates the Forbidden Chalice to negate it, but I had the Mass Change in my hand to summon out Dark Law to get over that Forbidden Chalice. But from there, he proceeds to chain the Incredible Ecclesia's effect to summon out Fallen Little Boss from his deck. And to be honest, he forgot to activate the effect of Fallen Little Boss, so he does not fusion into Starving Venom Fusion Dragon, and he realized that he could have done that, but forgot about it. So it happens, you know, it definitely happens to me later in the tournament, spoiler. But yeah, so from there, I just go into my combo plays. Now, I did have the Dusted Gold in my hand, so I decided to discard that card so I can get the Dark Calling to my hand. And there, I proceeded to activate Dark Calling to fusion summon into the Evil Hero Malicious Bane. Then after I had Malicious Bane, I was just going to try to go into this OTK very hard here. So I activated its effect, destroy all of his monsters, and I had the Fusion Destiny in my hand. And as soon as I activated it, my opponent realized that I had OTK here, and I even had Honest Neos on my hand. So he scooped it up here, giving us round 1 and giving our score at 1-0. So Despios was a very interesting matchup to go against because I have not played against Despia, so I'm not entirely sure what to have stopped, what to have responded to, or anything like that. And when he did summon out the Fallen of All Boss, he was able to use my monsters because they were dark, and he did have Super Polymerization, but he didn't set that, and he realized that he could have set it as well, so he could have fused my monsters to go into his own Starving Venom because my deck is a majority of dark attributes, and sadly, he didn't set it, so that worked out in my benefit right there. It worked out for me. And yeah, it was just really cool to see what the deck of Despios actually did before the All Boss Strike Structure deck comes out in a few months and it completely changes the format. So it was really cool. I did enjoy the matchup. Now, there was an issue with game 2 that we didn't realize until after we were sighting in for game 3, and that is my opponent forgot to sight in 2 cards. So he technically did cheat by having 38 cards, but I didn't penalize him or anything like that. I was like, you know, that's fine, man. We'll just go into game 3. No worries, because he offered me the game if I wanted to take it, and I was like, no, it's fine. You know, I came here to play some Yu-Gi-Oh! That is fine. You know, just be sure to have 2 cards into the deck so you have a total of 40. It was all good. You know, I really didn't mind all too much. Now, no wonder why he wrecked me so badly on that one. But no, it was cool. It was fine. It happens. And maybe other players would have said like, oh yeah, then I got it. Let's go. And like, I already got the game. But I didn't really care for that. You know, I just wanted to play some Yu-Gi-Oh! So we went into game 3 and it was really cool. I did enjoy the matchup and he was a pretty cool guy. And I actually did pick up an Aluber from him at the end of the tournament. And that was really cool. So yeah, this actually completes my set of Abaz. I actually picked up 2 in the tournament, like before the tournament actually started. So now I got my set of Abaz, and now I just gotta wait for that structure deck to come out and just, yeah, I'm joining the Legion there. But yeah, it's gonna be fun when the Abaz structure deck comes in. So that was round 1, and we got the win, bringing our score to 1-0, and we are going into round 2. No. Game 1 of round 2, my opponent goes first and he's playing Bird Up. So he activates Karaz's effect to discard his Wagtail, the Lyralust Legtail, and sets 2 cards face down and proceeds to pass. Now I had the Foolish Burial and I was able to send Shadow Mist to the graveyard to get a search, and using Shadow Mist as Stratos, my opponent drops the Draw and Lockbird from his hand, shutting me out from searching any other cards. But it's cool because my hand was actually pretty dang busted. So I was able to go into but potentially I was going to go to an OTK, but my opponent realizes that no matter what I summoned out, I was going to destroy his cards anyways. And after I did go into, I did summon out Vion. I sent the Denier to the graveyard. That's what's going on right now. I'm going to summon out my Elemental Stratos effect, but since I can't search, I decided to pop off his back row. And from there, he decided to scoop, and we went into game 2. And that was actually pretty interesting. He showed me his hand. He did have a pretty dead hand, but I had a really good hand. So yeah, that was actually a pretty short game 1. So game 3, my opponent's starting off, and he's going to be summoning out a lot of his Lurelust monsters. So he special summons out the one that he controls no monsters. He can special summon it, and using its effect, he can special summon another one from his hand. And I proceed to use Ash Blossom to negate its search effect, but that's not going to matter much, and you guys will see why. He goes into the, I think a Recital Startling. I can't remember the name of it. He detaches a material to search out any level 1 Wing Beast monster, and I'm like, I have not played against Bird Up, so I have no idea what to hit, and I think I prematurely hit the wrong card, and yeah, that's the only hand trap I had, so that's gonna be horrible. So my opponent is just gonna pop off like crazy here, and he does take a while to set up the board, and I did kind of ask him if he can go a little bit faster as well, and you guys will see during game 3, spoiler, he wins this one. It does become a very important factor into this match, and my opponent is just going to combo off very quickly. I'm sorry, not very quickly, but he's going to combo off extremely well, set up the Utopic Dragonic Future, I believe that's the name of it, the one that just negates my monster effects, and he can take control of the monster if it's still on the field. And then he still has some more Lurelust plays and goes into Incend Blue Robin, so he can bounce any of my monsters that get special summoned, and that's going to be a very big board that I'm not going to get over. He's going to set 2 cards face down and passes. I could only summon out my Destiny Hero Denier, and I was like, yeah, and then I had 2 cards face down, one of them being a Mass Change, and proceeded to pass. My opponent goes up. He is going to, I think, attack with the Incend Blue Robin. Yeah, he's going to attack. It has like 500 attack points, I think, per Xyz material. I can't remember, but he declares attack. I activate Mass Change, target out my Denier, getting rid of it, summoning out Dark Law, and then he does not attempt to redeclare. So he attacks over with Dragonic Future, and I take the 600 damage. And then he tried to do a 2 attack, but I told him that you can't because you didn't do the redeclare. So he already attacked. He summoned out Nervall, but I had the Artifact Lancia in my hand, which is the card that I drew, which was like, I wish it was something a little bit better. But anyways, yeah. And then he goes into the All Mirage, leaking off the Nervall, and Nervall is gonna get I don't think he actually used the effect of it, but yeah, I proceeded to pass, and then I just summoned out the Liquid Soldier. I had Miracle Fusion set, so I activate Miracle Fusion, and here's my big brain play that I'm going to try to summon out Absolute Zero, and if my opponent takes the bait, he's going to bounce it back, and he does do that, which will trigger the Absolute Zero afterwards. But anyways, I do have the Liquid Soldier's effect activated, so that's going to be chain 1 to let me draw 2 cards and discard a card, and I'm hoping those 2 cards are going to help, but they don't. But anyways, it just happens. It happens to all of us. So he activates the Incend Blue Robin as chain 2. So he detaches the material, bounces it back, and proceeds to destroy all of his monsters except Dragonic because he can't be destroyed by card effects, which is unfortunate. And yeah, I proceeded to scoop. Game 3, my opponent opens up with the Lurelust Bird Call, and he searches his deck for a Lurelust monster. Now, my opponent does take a while to actually search a card, so I'm asking him if he can speed it up a bit because we actually are pretty close to being called for time. So he does eventually search out 1 card, and that ended up being, I think, Turquoise. So he special summons out both Turquoise and I believe Nervall from his hand. Yeah, Nervall, and he overlays both of them into the Starling. I can't remember the name of it, but he detaches the Nervall to search both a Lurelust, and because Nervall was sent to the graveyard, he could search out yet another card, which was, I think, Fractal. He sent Fractal, and I can't remember what else he sent to the graveyard, but the camera does cut it a little bit there, but you guys might be able to see it. So he sets 2 cards and just proceeds to pass because he didn't really open up all that well. So I draw, and I'm going into my Ferris, discarding my only increase because I set out the other one, and then I summon out the Stratos to activate its effect, but he has the Forbidden Chalice. Now from here, I attack his monster with my Ferris, and because of his Lurelust's effect, we both take 1600 points of damage, which is fine. I'm trying to do enough damage so I can get called for time, and I have the higher life points. I attack with Stratos with 2200, and then proceeded to pass. My opponent he draws a card, and then he summons out the Tri-Brigade Kit, and from there he does use Kit's effect to banish 2 beast type monsters from his graveyard to summon out, I can't remember the name of it, it starts with an F, I think, the level 2 one that just special summons out 1 from your hand, and he does special summon out the Sapphire, Lurelust Sapphire, and he links both of those into the Samorg. And then from here, I can't remember exactly what he does. Oh yeah, he has Barrel Canary, summons out both it and Sapphire from his graveyard, overlays both of them into the Assemble a Nightingale. Now this thing gains 200 attack points for each material attached to it and can also attack me directly, so a lot. So I tried to use the Nibiru, but he has the cross out designator and banishes the Nibiru and just negates mine. So now his Assemble a Nightingale actually has 1,000 attack points, and since it has 4 materials, he can attack me directly 4 times with that thing, and he does put in a lot of damage. And then he goes into Zeus, and I have the Ash Blossom during the end phase, so he can't use the Samorg. And I also did declare the increase that was in my graveyard after I took some damage. I declared it, and I just forgot to put it in my spell and trap zone, so I did declare it. We did talk about that. So anyways, I summoned out during my turn. I'm summoning out the Vion, I sent Mali, I searched Polymerization. Now I have to hurry it up because time is almost called on us, so I go into Cross Crusader, and then my opponent activates the Zeus to send everything to the graveyard. So I summon out Mali from a grave, and I had the Adusted Gold in my hand, and I add the Dark Calling. I activate Dark Calling and summon out my Malicious Bane. I activate the effect of Malicious Bane, and he does not activate Zeus's effect, so it destroys his monster, go into battle phase, and I declare an attack, which ended up winning me the game because of time got called. That was a very intense and very close game because initially, you know, I got the first game pretty quickly, and then my opponent's second game was, holy crap, he set up a really good negation board, and I tried to play through, but I just couldn't, so I just scooped it by that point. But during game 3, that's where it like really mattered. He was able just to attack me so much with that Lyralust monster. I can't remember which one it was. I think it was Assemble a Nightingale. I'm not entirely sure. But being able to attack with a 4,000 monster, I'm sorry, with 1,000 attack points with 4 attacks each, and that's just 4,000 damage and then 600. So basically, with all the damage calculation, by the end of the game 3, I had 1,800 life points, and he had 1,000 life points, and that's after I attacked with the Malicious Bane. So I was able to get the higher life points and got the game. Now my opponent did not know that Zeus was actually not once per turn. I knew it wasn't once per turn, and I initially thought he was going to send it to the graveyard, and if he did, that's it. I can't do anything after that because my opponent will still have higher life points, and I did have a Polymerization and I think another hero, but it was not really going to amount to much, and attack damage wise, and I was just kind of like, you know, I really need to speed this up, so I summoned out Malicious Bane, and then I used the effect, and I thought he was going to chain Zeus, and he just let it go, and I was like, okay. So then I was able to attack directly, and that just got me the win. I won barely by 800 life points, and then time got called, and yeah, that was a very crazy game, and I sided in pretty good with that too. I think I only saw a couple of cards, but that cross out Designator did mess me up because I was trying to Nibiru him. He had the cross out, and yeah, that was unfortunate. So I had to just kind of rely on what I had, and yeah, it was a cool game, and it was against my friend Aaron, who I had not played in a long time. I don't think I have, because he mentioned it too. It hasn't been a while since we played, so it was really cool to play against his bird up deck. And he did say he had some misplays, and I'm not entirely sure what those misplays are, but I'm pretty sure in the next gameplay we're gonna be showing this person had all the answers, and he is also playing bird up. So going into round 3 against bird up yet again. It's round 3, which is also the final round of the tournament, and I do apologize for the camera angle with this match, guys. I thought I had enough to scope out the entire field. However, that's just not going to happen. You guys aren't going to be seeing what's going to be happening off the camera, so I'm going to keep you guys informed as much as possible. So he's going to the Starlight, the Recital Starling, uses both of their effects. He summons out 2 Starlings, so he searches out 2 level 1 monsters. Then he overlays both of them to Utopic Future, then overlays Utopic Dragu Future, I believe that's the name of that one. So he has a monster negation on the board already, and then he's just going crazy with his Tri-Brigade plays as well as his Lyralust plays. And by the end of this turn, he's going to set up a really good field with the Samorg, Apex Avion, and Semblue Robin, a Link 3 Winged Beast monster. I can't remember the name of it, but it was like a rare. I just can't remember the name of the card. And he also has the Dragonic Future, so it's going to be a lot of negations and a lot of things to go over, and it's just not going to be very helpful for me at all. And you guys are going to see this during my turn, because when it becomes my turn, all I have is just a hero lives and just hope to have Stratos out. He's just going to stop that and just keep bouncing it. I summon it, he bounces it again, negates it. And yeah, it was just so difficult to get over this board. I just really couldn't do anything. I didn't draw that well. And then as you can see, he's just bouncing, negating, summon, negate. So from there, I just proceeded to scoop, and we just went into game 2 because there was nothing I could do against this heavy field of his. Game 2, I make my opponent go first because I sided in quite a lot of cards to go against his deck, and he's starting off with the usual plays of going into 2 Starlight Recital Starling, I can't remember the name of it, and he searches out 2 cards, and then he's going to go to his Utopic Future, and from there I proceeded to drop the artifact Lancia I had in my hand, which did become very problematic for him. So I decided to discard it early before he goes to that Drageko Future, and yeah, from there he just set a monster in defense mode and proceeded to pass. Now I drew into a Dark Ruler No More, and I activated it to negate the Drageko Future, so that worked out very well. Activated E-Call, added Stratos, normal Stratos. He had the infinite permanence, but I had Mass Change, so I got rid of it, summoned out Gus, got the Search for Ferris, and I used Gus's effect to half the attack of Drageko Future so I could get rid of that card. So I discarded Malicious to summon out Ferris, but he had the DD Crow in his hand to discard to banish my Ferris, banish Malicious, which is fine. So I go into the usual increase Vion plays to search out the I sent Shadow Mist to my deck to the graveyard to search out Liquid Soldier, and I also added Polymerization in there. I activated Polymerization to fuse Liquid Soldier and increase to summon out the Sunrise, and then I used Chain 1 as Liquid Soldier, Chain 2 Sunrise to search out Miracle Fusion, and then draw 2 cards and discard 1, and I ended up drawing the Fusion Destiny, which does come in handy quite well. So I activated Fusion Destiny, and I sent Plasma, and I think Denier to the graveyard, summon out DPE, and from there I just proceeded to go to Battle Phase attack. He doesn't take any damage because of Dark Ruler No More, but that's fine. So I set 1 card face down and proceeded to pass, and my opponent goes, he draws a card, and then he really couldn't do anything, so he just decided to scoop, and we're going to go into game 3. Game 3, my opponent goes first, and he's going into his, he's going to try to go to his usual place. However, he really can't. So he summons out the Sapphire and summons out the Drone Lopper and goes into his Sand Blue Robin and sets 1 and passes. I draw. During my Sterile phase, he activates Harpy's Feather Duster to negate all my monster effects. I chain Infinite Permanence to negate its effect. I normal summon out Celestial and just attack, set 1 card, and pass. My opponent goes, he summons out the Turquoise, but I effect Veiler that card, and he hard normal summons out Drone Lopper, goes into the Nightingale. I activate Infinite Permanence, but he changed the effect of that, and I'm like, I probably activated it way too soon. So yeah, he just attacks, and because he attacked, he was able to summon out AA Zeus, and yeah, I think it might have been a misplay here, but I don't even know if that's true. I'll have to look back at it now after this. So he proceeded to pass. I had the Fusion Destiny. I sent 2 heroes from my deck to the graveyard to summon out the DPE, and then I'm just going to try to go off. I go into Cross Crusader here, and then this is where my opponent is going to chain his AA Zeus after I use my Cross Crusader, and I use DPE, and then just a lot of things happen here, and there was a mishap that did happen here, and I'm going to go into further context right here, and it was just horrible. A little bit of commentary on this part. I completely forgot to activate DPE's effect, and it was not initially my fault. There was a confusion that went on during the commotion of resolving the chains backwards. Now, when Zeus was wiping off my board, I thought my Cross Crusader was chain 2 for some reason. I don't know why I thought that, because I had summoned out Denier, and then I resolved thinking that Zeus went first, so I sent all my cards to the graveyard, and then my opponent was trying to correct me, saying that Denier stays out on the field, and I got a little bit confused because I couldn't hear him first as well, so I asked them to repeat it. And just basically, yeah, Denier stays on the field. Everything else got sent to the graveyard. I destroyed his Zeus, and yeah, just from there, I realized I did not activate DPE's effect, which is something that's kind of out of character for me, because I would always resolve DPE no matter what. If my opponent has some stuff to activate in the graveyard, I would always try to make acknowledgement that my DPE is going to be activating. Like, you know, say if everything got destroyed and my opponent has some chains, I'm going to activate my DPE, even if he says like, okay, they'll activate later. It's like, okay, that's cool, you know, just resolve your chains, and then DPE activates after. So in my mind, I thought I had already done it. And then I had to use Denier's effect because it's on summon. I stacked the Mally back on top of my deck, and I realized at that point I already put the card on top of my deck. I was looking at my graveyard, and I was thinking like, wait, did I declare DPE? And that's when I really like started clicking like, oh crap, I didn't, you know. So there was some confusion that went on right there that kind of got me like, you know, I forgot to activate this card, and that was my fault. So yeah, that is why you will not be seeing DPE on my field anymore. Yeah, so this was the part where I realized I didn't use DPE's effect like I thought I did. So I really couldn't do anything after this either. So I just proceeded to pass. So it became my opponent's turn. He summons out Fractal, and I ditched the artifact Lancia so he can't banish his monster. So he just attacks and then proceeds to pass. So from here, I'm just like, what am I going to do? So I have 2 cards in my hand. So I set 1 card face down. I set my Ash Blossom so I could use Celestial's effect to banish it and another hero to draw 2 cards, one of them being the E-Call to add Stratos. I tried to summon it, but I forgot I already normal summoned, so that was a goof on my part. So I just set a card face down. I believe I set Mass Change face down and proceeded to pass. He draws, and then he activates Fractal's effect, so he banishes 3 monsters to summon out a Winged Beast monster. And then I am chaining the mass change to go into my Dark Law and to see if that does anything. So he goes into that Link 3 monster. From here, he goes into Access Code Talker, and I'm like, could he target his monsters? And it turns out you can target any monster regardless if it's in your graveyard or banished, because it doesn't stay in your graveyard. So I'm like, oh crap. So yeah, he's gonna get over Dark Law with that 5,300 points Access Code Talker. And it's just from here, I'm like, why don't I have my DPE? It could have changed the game maybe. So I summon out Stratos. Yeah, he's just gonna stop that. And yeah, this is gonna be like a grind game at this point. Like, we're just drawing cards to see who's gonna top the X, and then he summons out like some cards, and just the Access Talker is gonna go into some play here, and it's just gonna attack. And yeah, I'm just like, I goofed up hard, and spoiler, he's just gonna win. He's gonna win. And I'm just like, I'm trying to play as much as I can, just really to set up a board of 1 monster, because if he can't draw another card, he can't get over it. So I summon out the Shining, he destroys it, I add back Stratos to get it to my hand. Then on my turn, I normal summon out Stratos, and he has the Forbidden Droplets to negate that. I'm just like, ah, damn it. So I have Polymerization just to fuse. I think I go into Sunrise, and unfortunately Sunrise can't pop a monster because it has to be another hero, which would have helped, but that's just not the case here. So yeah, my opponent's just gonna get the better one. And it's just because I messed up bad. I just messed up badly there. I wonder how the outcome would have been had I had DPE on my field. It could have changed the game, and that's just unfortunate. You know, it happens, and I just forgot to do it during that commotion. So, you know, what can you do really? So my opponent's just gonna go ahead and just like do some plays here and just proceeds to attack. And yeah, at that point it's just like, why am I still playing? Like, he's got this. Like, I can't do jack. So yeah, he won.
I'm still kicking myself in the back for this match. It was just, why did I not activate DPE's effect? I mean, I know why I didn't. I completely forgot to have used it because of the little scuffle that I had right there that I messed up and I thought I did. But yeah, I just wonder how the game would have been had I kept DPE out on the field. Now, my opponent did have Forbidden Droplets. He did use that a little bit later. So it makes me wonder, though, had he done that, would the results been a little bit different, because my Stratos would have been able to have activated to search a monster. So would that have changed anything? I'm not sure. And that's just my bad. I lost, and I just was not able to get out of this one. That Access Code Talker, ooh, I could not draw like an Imperm or an Effect Veiler just to negate it and go back to its original attack points. I just could not negate that card, so that was very unfortunate. And I just took the loss. And from that point, my record was 2-1, and I got 2nd place. And with that, we got 3 packs of Brothers of Legend. So, I mean, that's fine, right?
Oh, still not ringing the bell.
No. This person didn't know what Ruben is. He's one of Ruben's.
Like, if I see the face, you know, I'm gonna instantly remember. But it's like so funny. Like, I think of names. I'm like,
Not what you promised.
and welcome to you. So all in all, even though today was a short day for Yu-Gi-Oh, it was still a fun day. I was able to play my deck a little bit more and kind of got a feeling of some cards that I do want to change, which is running Cross Crusader back to 2, and it's because I could bring out DPE should I forget to use the effect, or it gets you know, negated or something like that. I can be able to bring it back out. So yeah, I might try to put another Cross Crusader. It's just that 15 card count, and a lot of those cards I end up using. It's just what am I gonna take out? What am I gonna, you know, I know what I'm gonna put in, but what am I gonna take out? That's just the main question. Now, last week I did talk about like what sleeves you guys want me to use, so that's still up for debate. Do I should use the Jaden Neos Spacians and Neo sleeves, or should I just use the Jaden red sleeves? If you guys can see that. Yeah, both sleeves are really cool and still sealed, so just let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below, because I just kind of want to hear you guys' opinion. The Neos though, the Neos ones are kind of winning. And I think these are out of print too. I think these are like, you know, discontinued, because I can't find any more of these, and that's what the buyer said when I bought them. And I still need to buy the structure. I'm sorry, I need to buy on eBay the 100 count sleeves for Jade and Yuki, the blue ones, the ones I have right now for my extract. That I need to buy so I can have my main deck all sleeved out, so I can actually do some double sleeving. it'll be really cool. But today was not a bad day. I mean, heck, I walked out with 3 Alubers. I had none. So I walked out with 3. That was really cool. Getting ready for that Alboz Strike Structure deck. I also got 3 Ultra Rare Albazes. I don't know if I'm going to get this in Secret Rare, but hey, you know, it is what it is. And a little funny story is that I'm realizing that I am a fan of Fusions. I think that Fusions is my favorite mechanic of all time. And I didn't even realize that because, well, I just really didn't realize it. But of all the decks I played, back in the day, I used to play Heroes back in the old days before all these links and everything. So I was playing like Heroes like a character deck, you know? So I used Polymerization, fusing out Flame Wingman, and doing some stuff that's kind of like, yeah, you're not going to last long in these events. But, yeah, I had been playing it since Heroes debuted. Then, you know, over time, I played other decks like Shadal's and then Invoked, and I'm looking forward to the Alboz Strike Structure deck. So I think Fusions might be my favorite summoning mechanic of all time, and I just never even realized that. So that's kind of interesting. But anyways, next week we are still not sure if it's going to be a YCS qualifying match, because if it is, then it's going to be 5 rounds. If it's not, and there's more than 8 players that show up, it's only going to be 4 rounds. So either way, another day of Yu-Gi-Oh is going to be really cool, and I might do some changes to the main deck and also the side deck. I do have an idea of what I want to change for the side deck, but as for the main deck, I'm still not sure. Effect Failure actually did help out today too, but then it's like, do I want to add in Forbidden Chalice so I can have some more negations during my turn? Because Effect Failure will be turned off, and I can't use Effect Failure during my turn, you know? So I'm going back and forth with that, but I know what I want to change with the side deck. The extra deck, I have to find room for another Cross Crusader. The main deck, I'm still debating about it, but it might probably be the same. I'm not entirely sure yet. But hopefully next week I'll be able to remember activating DP's effect, and we won't have a situation like that happen again. But all in all, it was still fun. It was a really fun game. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please hit the like button if you did. Be sure to subscribe to the channel for more upcoming videos. Oh, and another thing is, I am not sure if I'm going to be opening up a box of the Grand Creator set. It's an okay set. Yeah, the adventure token is what really everybody's looking for. But at that point, I'd rather just order the adventure tokens on their own. You know, I'd just rather order the engine and just, like, you know, not really do much. I'm not sure yet. I'm still debating. I'll figure that out. I think it comes out next week. No, it might actually come out in 2 weeks. I'm not entirely sure, but I'm still debating. So just to let you guys know, in case you guys may or may not see a video of the Grand Creators, I'm still undecided. I am very undecided right now, but I do like opening packs, so it's like 50-50. So just to keep you guys up to date with that. But anyways, thank you again, and I'll see you all in the next video.